Okay, so date 29th August 2024. Time is this, and day 116. In the last session, in the last session, we have seen versioning of React. We have seen React, node versioning, and in general, we revised the node. Node is a asynchronous framework. You will get to know what do you mean by that. Nodejs. If you just click over here, learning materials, I have shown you this link, right? Now, when you talk about the node, it is a Node.js app runs in a single process without creating a new thread for every request. Node.js provides set of asynchronous IO primitives in its standard library that prevent JavaScript code from the blocking. And generally libraries in Node.js are written using non-blocking paradigms, making a blocking behavior the exception rather than the norm. Now, what we are going to do, let me create, or in a day 115 here itself, let's rename it to 116. Let's rename it to the 116. Now, what we are going to see over here today, we know how do you run the node programs, correct? How do you run the node program? Hello? Node what? If you see here, when you talk about the node, it is nothing but what? Correct. Node space name of the file. Node is nothing but the JavaScript runtime which is taken out of the browser. And you run the programs in Node. JavaScript programs in Node. Now, let's try to understand the first package in the node. You can say OS package. I think this would be a little difficult to understand in the beginning. Let's try to write a simple Node.js program. Let's try to write a simple Node.js program, right? We have studied the JavaScript in detail. We have learned the React in detail. Now it's time to learn the backend. So whatever these days are here, inside these days, all the source code you will find, whatever we have done. Now today what we will do, so whenever you talk about the Node.js, you need to remember that it is the asynchronous, right? You need to remember that there is something called as asynchronous programming. If you remember the promises, we have studied the promises. Do you remember or not? Hello? Promises in JavaScript. Do you remember that or not? Okay, you need to revise it, correct. So we have seen what are the promises, one of the way of working with the Node.js. Okay. Now there are multiple ways. What Node.js provides, we will talk about it later on. How Node.js is asynchronous, we will talk about it later on. And at that time, we will discuss first what do you mean by the asynchronous programming. Okay. But now, what we need to do, we need to understand some basic concepts of the node, right? Few things available in a node that are available in a React, few things are not. Okay, let's do one thing. So let's create car.js here, and I can create a new file engine.js. Engine dot, yeah, so I have a function here. I can say speed up, speed up, and in an engine, or we can create a class also, no problem. Class car speed up, car speed up. Now I want to import that car into the engine.js. So this can be done in a multiple different ways. This can be done in a multiple different ways. If you remember, in a React, we have used the export keyword. We have attached export keyword over here. Same thing works in a node also, but the minute you write export keyword over here, and if you try to write import car from .car and just try to run any of these files, cd 115.116 cd first node app node car.js, can you see there is an error, unexpected token export. Warning, to load the ES modules, you need to set type is equals to module in the package.json or use m.js extensions. So this export and import is a ES6 feature. But what if your Node.js program is not using, or this module system is not directly supported by the Node.js? Okay. What you need to do here, exports dot module is equals to one JavaScript object we have passed, right? And from here car colon, here we can say new car object. We are passing the car object out of this, or you can say, you can refer to this class car. Now if you try to run it, can you see this is running? Now how do you import this guy, this car over here? Remember that you just have referred to the class definition. You have referred to what? Class definition. So here you can say const car is equals to require from the require JS. So there is a another JS. So here we can say const C r is equals to new car and cr dot speed up. Let's write a console, and here we can say speeding up node car, node engine dot js. Okay, what's happening here? If spellings are correct, okay, exports. Oh, okay, here we are passing the object. Require, this would be the object. So this can be solved simply by writing car like this, right? Now if you run this engine.js, so I tried to make it new car, and here you just need to remove this thing from here, and you can import new car, this car, module dot, sorry, module dot, this is the wrong actually, export speeding up, module dot exports module dot exports this thing. So in earlier case, so this was a wrong exports dot module I had written, and here you can pass the object also, and here you can do something like this. This is the object. Here you can pass function, another thing. You can pass variable or anything, but here you need to change in that case. So here you can say car, something like this, car, and let's try to run it now. Okay, if you try to just comment this out, and here you can say console.log car, and it is getting undefined. So this car we are getting undefined because here we are getting this car into the reference of car const. Here we can say whatever object we are requiring from that .car.js, that ob, and here we can write ob and see what it returns. It returns car, it returns an object, which is having reference car, which is pointing to this car object. So if you do something like this over here, ob, I think that this car which is pointing to this definition. OB dot car, like this. Yeah, and can you see it's speeding up? Now it is working. But let's forget about this code right now. I will keep it, but I will comment it out. This is pretty standard thing. If you want to export multiple things from here, you need that object. But for now, you can simply make the car definition. From this file, I want to export this car definition. And I want to import that car definition over here. I will comment this whole thing. And here you can say const car is equals to require dot car. It's a capital car, because from here you are straight away referencing to the this class definition. It is pointing to this class definition. So this car is pointing to this class definition. And we are importing that over here. Any questions? Okay. Now, now you need to remember this whenever you talk about the node. Sometimes you will see something like this in some Node.js applications. You will see this module.exports thing, because Node.js at the core doesn't support import and export the way we did in a React. To do that thing, you need to make a separate setup. If you remember, we have done this also. Type colon module. We need to do what? Type colon module. So when you do type module, just go here. Now I will, okay, let's keep these things as it is. New file and ball.js, new file emp.js. From the ball.js, export class ball, and in the import emp.js import. From this I need to import the ball from ball. Here we can say size, return football. Okay, const bl is equals to new ball and bl dot size console dot log. Node emp dot js. Ball dot js. Yeah, can you see it's football? There was js was missing. So what I'm saying is that in some node projects you will find this type module is there, and in some node project you will not find that type module is there. If there is a type module, then and only then this export and import will work. If it's a normal node project, you cannot do that. You will find something like this module.exports. Correct? You got it, right? So these are nothing but what the node modules. So rest of the JavaScript is same. Whatever JavaScript you can write it. Whatever JS you can write in the React, same JS you can write it over here without any problem. Any questions? Fine. Next concept we will see tomorrow. Buffers. Or we'll see what we are going to cover. Fine. I'll push this much code. Node.js. We have covered today modules. Fine. Let's call it for a day. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.